10 mistakes that can derail your debt payoff journey and how to avoid them. The first one is ignoring your budget. If you are paying debt, especially if you have a lot of debt, and if you do not have a budget or you are ignoring that budget, you are just setting yourself up for failure. When you have a budget, you know where your money is going. That gives you the ability to allocate more money towards paying off that debt. So having a budget is super important on your debt payoff journey. Pick the one that aligns with you or the one that makes the most sense to you and stick to it. The second one is not building an emergency fund. I cannot stress enough about having an emergency fund. If you are paying debt and you do not have an emergency fund, then you are just going in a rabbit hole. Why? Because things will happen. Life is unpredictable. So when you have an emergency fund, even if life happens, if you have something that you have to account for, then you will know that your emergency fund will cover that and you can still stick to the plan of paying off your debt. For example, when I was paying off my debt, there was a time when I got really sick. I had to be hospitalized, and this did cost me. And the fact that I did not have an emergency fund, I had to stop paying off my debt so that I can have enough money to cover my medical bills. And that did delay my journey of paying off the debt. And the third thing is paying only the minimum. So the thing is, a lot of people, especially with their credit cards or any account, they will only pay the minimum and be like, I'm okay, I've paid my minimum. So minimum payment will trap you in a cycle of debt. So if you are only paying the minimum payment, you will end up paying so much money on interest. It can take you up to like 17 years to pay off an average credit card if you are only paying minimum payment, because most of that minimum payment is going towards interest and fees, and you'll find that only a portion of that will go towards your debt. An example, my very first credit card was a Standard Bank credit card of 5,000 rands, and my minimum payment was like 150. I was paying that 150 for a whole 2 years, but the amount that went off towards my principal for that 2 years was less than 1,000 rand. So for 2 years of paying 150 towards a 5,000 credit card only covered less than 1,000 rand on that 5,000. So if I had continued paying those 150 every single month, it would have taken me more than 10 years to finish paying off that 5,000. Another mistake that you might be making is not tackling high interest debt. So there's two methods of debt repayment. There's the snowball and the avalanche. The snowball is more about building momentum and having the motivation to carry on, but the avalanche is about going towards your high interest. So for some people, they have super high interest debt, and what you can do is that pay all the extra money that you have towards that high interest debt, because you want to get rid of that interest. The longer you keep it, the longer you keep that debt hanging around, the more interest will keep on accumulating. So make sure that you do go for, if you have high interest rates, make sure that you do tackle those ones first. So you can like find some debt payoff calculators online and just try to check how much interest that debt is going to cost you if you only pay if you don't pay it as soon as possible. Okay, so the next thing is using new debt to pay off old debt. The best thing to do in this case is to find a new credit card or a new loan that has a lower interest than the one you have, or to do like debt consolidation. But also with the debt consolidation, you need to be very diligent to make sure that you find the one that will actually work for you, because not all debt consolidation, because all debt consolidation are not the same. You find the ones that will cost you a lot more money and some that will actually save you some money. So you need to be very diligent when you are looking into that. So some of the things that I would suggest is negotiating with your creditors to maybe decrease your interest. The next mistake is lifestyle inflation. So when you are paying off your debt, stay away from lifestyle inflation. Whatever extra money that you're making, put it toward that debt. Again, you guys, the longer you hold a credit card debt, the deeper you are getting into that rabbit hole. So lifestyle inflation is not a thing when you're paying off your debt. Keep your lifestyle constant until you're done paying off your debt. Then you can inflate your lifestyle. Then the next mistake is underestimating small expenses. So things like subscription, unnecessary subscription, dining out, impulse buying, they do sound small, but they definitely do add up, and eventually they will slow down your debt repayment. So like, for example, I don't want to tell you to stay away from drinking your coffee, but if you spend like 10 rands, on coffee every single day, then you can easily if you times that by 30 per month, you will spend about 1,000 rand on coffee alone. So you need to keep an eye on all those small expenses because they do add up. The other mistake is skipping debt payment. So skipping debt payment is the worst thing that you can do while you are on a debt repayment, because this will have an impact on your credit score and it will increase interest. And then on top of that, you'll have to pay penalty fees, and it just sets your progress. Like it sets back your progress. The best thing to do is automate your payments. Let that money come out of your account when it's due. You don't have to think about it, and then that way you won't miss it. The next thing is failing to adjust when life changes. So if you're paying debt and then it happens that you fall pregnant, now you have a baby. Babies are expensive. So if you don't cut down your costs somewhere else to try to accommodate your expenses for your new baby, you probably will not have enough money to continue paying off your debt. So you need to make sure that you are revisiting your budget at least quarterly to make sure that it's still aligning with your life situation. And the last mistake that people make is giving up too soon. So debt payoff can take some time, and this will depend on how much debt you have in total. And the fact that it takes time, many people get discouraged and they quit before they reach the finish line. Make sure that you stay focused. Debt takes a huge toll on our emotions. I don't think we understand how much debt impacts our life. Our financial well-being is impacted by debt. So if you give up too soon, then you're just putting yourself in a situation that might cost you a lot more. Something that you can do is visualize life after debt, celebrate small wins. Those kind of things will keep you motivated. So if you can avoid these common pitfalls, you will stay on track on your debt payoff journey. Let me know in the comments which one of these common mistakes you faced or you are dealing with. And thank you so much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you do not miss any video from me. Bye.